To sculpt massive peaked arms, you must isolate the biceps brachii and the underlying brachialis. Hypertrophy requires targeting both the long head, which creates the outer peak, and the short head, which builds inner thickness. Standard curls often lead to shoulder compensation, but dumbbells allow for unique wrist supination and tailored angles that maximize recruitment. By manipulating your grip, altering elbow positioning, and enforcing strict mechanical tension, you force deep muscular adaptation. Implement these 9 advanced dumbbell protocols to engineer huge biceps today. Exercise 1. Dumbbell kneeling waiter, biceps curl, elbow support. Kneel behind the bench, place a long foam pad under your armpits, and brace elbows firmly. Cup the top plate of a vertical weight and flex upward cleanly. This highly stable anchored setup creates an absolute mechanical disadvantage for momentum, driving immense, concentrated isolation straight into the short head peak zone. Pad anchored vertical plate. Preacher lock. Exercise 2. Dumbbell high curl. Stand tall and raise your upper arms completely parallel to the floor at shoulder height. Curl the weights inward toward your ears, while keeping your elbows perfectly stationary. This high, elevated sagittal tracking shifts the absolute maximum mechanical tension straight onto the biceps long head, forcing incredible structural peak height. Elevated horizontal shoulder biceps drive. Exercise 3. Dumbbell seated reverse curl. Sit rigid and grip the handles with a strict pronated overhand alignment over your knees. Curl the weights upward dynamically without moving your torso. This overhand path shifts the primary loading away from the biceps straight into the dense brachioradialis muscle wall, maximizing total lower arm thickness and structural grip strength. Pronated seated brachioradialis power. Exercise 4. Dumbbell Zottman curl. Stand upright and curl the weights with a supinated grip to maximize internal leverage. At peak contraction, rotate your wrists into a pronated position and lower them down slowly. This dual-action profile subjects both the biceps brachii and brachioradialis to severe progressive mechanical tension across the complete range. Rotational, supinated, pronated torque drive. Exercise 5. Dumbbell prone incline waiter biceps curl. Lie chest down on an incline bench to completely eliminate all lower body momentum. Cup both hands under the top plate of a single vertical dumbbell and curl upward. This prone deficit setup places the biceps short head under extreme isolated load, forcing a highly concentrated contraction at the top. Prone deficit-free vertical plate flexion. Exercise 6. Dumbbell concentration curl. Sit at the bench edge and brace your working triceps firmly against your inner thigh. Execute a strict unilateral curl upward, squeezing hard at the top. This anchored setup completely eliminates shoulder movement, allowing for an absolute deep mind-muscle connection to isolate the target biceps long head fibers perfectly. Thigh-anchored unilateral peak isolation. Exercise 7. Dumbbell incline hammer curl. Lie back on an incline bench and let your arms hang low into a deep vertical stretch. Maintain a strict neutral grip as you curl the weights upward along a sagittal path. This angled profile places the biceps long head under maximum eccentric tension, triggering rapid hypertrophy across the outer arm grid structure. Incline neutral long head stretch power. Exercise 8. Dumbbell biceps curl. Stand tall with a rigid spine and begin the movement with a neutral hammer grip. Supinate your wrists aggressively as you lift, turning your palms completely upward at peak lockout. This classic trajectory optimizes both elbow flexion and forearm supination, driving immense structural mechanical overload straight into the biceps. Standing supinating pectoral arm drive. Exercise 9. Dumbbell crossbody hammer curl. Stand rigid and drive a single weight across your torso toward the opposite shoulder. Maintain a strict neutral grip throughout the entire dynamic pathway. This horizontal adduction trajectory shifts the progressive mechanical loading away from the biceps straight into the deep brachialis muscle wall for maximum arm thickness. Unilateral transverse brachialis drive.